We are live on Yonkers Voice, and today our guest is Mr. Jose Alvarado, Legislator Jose Alvarado for Westchester County. Jose, thank you for taking the time.
My pleasure, Ru.
Jose, it feels like it was the other day that we sat here in this very same room for the first time.
Yes, sir.
4 years have gone by.
Yes.
At least 4, right?
Yes.
At least 4. Jose, election time is an important time in our nation, our county, our city. It's very important. But personally, I feel that many people don't understand the importance of it. We complain later, this should have been done, this should have been done, but they don't participate in the process to get those things done. And the process is signature collection. That is the first step.
Yes, without it, nothing takes off.
Let's address that. Let's speak to the people and understand, because look, now in the technology era that people have these Ring cameras, they can see who's downstairs from upstairs. They don't want to be bothered. They don't even open the door. They don't understand the importance of it. Because let me put it this way. You might be the candidate that I want in the ballot, but unless I open that door and I sign up so you can get in the ballot, you won't be there to represent me.
Yes, and thank you for asking that question, Ru. Yes, it has become more difficult for petition collection, and it's the initial process for a candidate to make the ballot. Even if a party has endorsed a particular candidate, this candidate still needs to go out there, and the district leaders are supposed to help to collect signatures to place the name on the ballot. There is a limit depending on the number of voters. As a clear example, for my position, I need to get 500 signatures, even though I am the endorsed candidate for the Democratic Party. Again, and I always run with the party. I ask you to please open the door. It's the initial process. Somebody that may want to challenge me within the party can also go out there with her petition and ask you for a signature. The signature just means that a properly registered Democrat, in this case, of my party, is signing for that name to appear. It doesn't mean anything else. Has there been mixed up with signatures? Yes. But as long as the signature is yours, that's all that matters. Somebody wants to circumvent or break the rules, is on them. The process is the process, and I asked everybody, please, in those ring bells, come to the door. It's your opportunity to meet somebody that may want or may eventually represent you. Don't miss that opportunity. I'm knocking on doors all the time at this time, and you can always find me. You know, I'm not shy. I always give you my cell phone number, 914-525-1038. I'm there for you. But open those doors for anybody that wishes to be engaged in the democratic process. I've always said anybody can run. Hardly anybody can deliver.
It's a whole different ballgame.
Yes.
It's a whole different story.
Totally. But that's the initial process. Please participate, you know, and it's not a vote. People think that because they're signing, they're endorsing. You're not endorsing anybody. But whoever gets your signature first gets to use that one for their count, and that's all it is.
But that's an important thing that you just mentioned. Whatever signs that petition first, that's the signature that is going to count.
Yes.
But I see that many people, because I talk to many people on the streets of Yonkers.
Yes.
And many people, Jose, or Legislator Jose Alvarado, they don't understand the process in the sense of the importance of that signature. So they think they're going to sign for everybody, okay, because they want to be nice to everybody, but that's not the case. That signature has an importance. When or to whom do you sign and when do you sign, it's also important. If you want your signature to be valid, make sure that you sign once, no?
Yes, and the confusing part comes where each candidate has its own petition. So sometimes you feel that you sign, and you might have signed for Jose Alvarado County Legislator, District 17, where the council president is also running, and there are several candidates for that position. So you may end up signing. I am asking the people that I visit to sign 5 times, and I'll mention why. Because I'm carrying my petition. I am also carrying all the Democratic Party endorsed candidates. That is my choice. I have been fortunate enough to always run within the party, and I always support the party endorsed candidates. So in this instance, I am carrying my petition. I am carrying the 2nd Council District petition for the endorsed candidate. I am also carrying the delegates for appointing judges. I am also carrying the county executive and the judges petition, and I am also carrying the CDY council president petition. So I have 5 petitions, and I'm successful to convince you to sign the 5 of them. So if you sign those 5, there's nothing else to sign that you should sign. But be certain of what. If you want to be nice and somebody comes and knocks on the door and you tell them, I already signed, oh, please sign mine, I'm running for A, B, C, whatever. You can sign. It's not a delinquency, it's not a violation of the law. You just want to be nice. If there's a recount of those signatures and your signature appears after the date that you signed mine, just means that it counts for me, it doesn't count for them. Nothing else. Feel free to please sign with the signature that you put on your registration. And then that's the only verifiable thing, but you are not breaking the law by signing as many petitions as you want.
Jose, somebody once, many years ago, I don't know if you remember, said, trust but verify.
Yes.
Do you remember who that person was?
There's been a lot of stories like that.
President Reagan. Trust but verify. Somebody comes to my place, asks me for the signature. I put the signature. I forget to put the time and date. I don't know, even if there is a stamp, a date, and a time stamp. Tomorrow, that signature shows on this petition and that petition. How do they resolve who signed first?
The predominant part is the date, so you should date your signature when you sign. But again, the most important thing is that you participate. Don't worry about what a candidate is going to say or do, because your due diligence as a voter is to make sure that there are candidates that may eventually become your representatives that you're placing, whose names you're placing on the petition. I don't want anybody to have fear of signing, because that's what has been created. But there isn't anything. If a candidate wants to break the rules, it's on him. It's never on you. And that's what I want to get through that. And as far as counting, whoever has the earlier date, if those petitions are ever challenged, gets to keep the signature, and the other one is invalid. That's all that happens.
So guys, just to be on the safe side, when you sign, next to your signature, if there is a space for the date, put the date, put the time. Doesn't hurt you, doesn't hurt the candidate, but make sure that there is a timestamp, a record of what time did you sign, what time, what date did you sign. Now, before we go much further, Ms. Alvarado, where am I? Dos Marias restaurant.
Dos Marias.
You
Yes.
are a customer here. I am a customer here.
Yes.
There is no better place in the city of Yonkers, Westchester County, state of New York, United States, better than Dos Marias for the true Mexican food.
Yes.
Taste of Mexico.
Yes, exquisite. I always, whenever I commiserate here, I celebrate here all the time. My events take place here. Don Alfonso, the owner of this place, is just a genuine person from Yonkers. So I am proud to consume what we produce, and Dos Marias is just that. So I'm I'm glad this is happening here.
So am I. What about the pollos del carbón
Yeah.
taste that we had last week? Which one was your favorite? My favorite was the number 1 and number 4.
Yeah, number 4 is my favorite. Number 1 is a basic chicken, and now we are spicing it a little more. I think that one would be a seller. I am always thinking generic flavor and uniqueness.
But let's not talk about that because we want them to come on down
Yes.
and make their own mind about which one is the best chicken. Guys, Pollo El Carbón next to Dos Marias. It's opening soon. It's not
Yes.
open yet.
In a couple of weeks.
In a couple of weeks, they're going to open. Come on down, try it out, call, place your order. I don't know if they're going to have Uber Eats and all this stuff. Chances are they will. But call, check it out, come pick up, whatever you do. We don't care how you get here, just get here.
Ru, before we leave the petition process, let me just mention to the registered voters that the process started on February 25th, and the initial process of signatures, there are other options of signatures, positioning, and so on and so forth. It gets more complicated, but at least now is when you're getting all those. There's been so much activity in Southwest Yonkers because a lot of what happens in Yonkers happens here in Southwest Yonkers, and so please continue to react to your door as long as the person identifies themselves. They're usually volunteers, very often candidates themselves like myself. The process ends on April 3rd. So until April 3rd, be available. If you have any questions, ask us. That's what we're here to do. That's what Ru is going to do with me. And I first ran in 2001, so I've been at it for a while, went out, came back, because the public asked us to come back, and we're delivering for the people. But I don't mind answering any question, whatever's in your mind, please ask the question.
Exactly. Vote on record.
Yes.
Okay. So now that we understand the petition process, let's talk about a little bit about the things that you have accomplished. But before we get to that point, I need to make clear to my audience, to our city, that we as Yonkers Voice do not endorse or oppose any candidate. Our platform has always been to inform the people, invite the candidates such as yourself, where you can talk about your records, about your vision, how you want to better the city, the county, where you live and work for. So at the end of the day, it's up to them who they're going to vote for. But every candidate, regardless of party, is very welcome on our platform.
Awesome.
The decision is up to the people.
Yes, totally. And I tell people all the time, I am here because you want me to be. If you ever don't want me to be, I won't be. Am I getting a little bit tired sometimes? Yes. The only reason why I am still here is because I'm still delivering for you, my constituents, and there is a lot of work to be done in Southwest Yonkers. So I don't know, Ru, you have anything specific you want to ask me, or you want me to?
I want to.
We have a question from Hector Santiago. He says, does Jose know how many district leaders, if any, are employed by the city?
Well, you heard the question,
Yeah.
so they might not have heard it because the mics are
Right.
here.
Yeah. No, absolutely not.
Tell them what the question was and what your answer, so
Yes.
they understand.
Yes. The question is if I know how many district leaders are employed by the city, and the answer is I do not, and it's not a requirement to be a district leader to be employed by the city, or not to be. But I'll expand on the question. If you ever want to be employed by government, and especially the city of Yonkers, the way of getting in is through the civil service process, which is supposed to be a fair process where you take a test with your qualifications and you compete with other candidates to that position and you come in that way. There are appointed positions that elected officials like the mayor can delegate to make, but not all positions are like that. Mostly, you have to pass the test. I serve as the Director of Recreation for the City of Yonkers. I had to pass the test. And I am also union representative, to the surprise of a lot of people there. And I am so glad that I am, because I feel that the union gives you that extra protection and a great retirement. Look, it used to be that working for government was sizzling and so on and so forth. Maybe private market is better today. I don't know, but it is your choice. But being a district leader doesn't guarantee you a job in the city, if that is the question that is being asked. No.
But since this interview is about you, it's about your campaign, it's about the work that we expect you to do, about the promise that we hope you will be able to fulfill.
Yes.
And also because many people, well, I don't know if I would say many people vote based on record, but most people should vote based on record.
Absolutely.
What have you accomplished for us?
Yes.
Now, let's go back to 4 years back, when we first had the interview. Your promises, your visions for Yonkers, and your accomplishments.
Yeah, no, the model, the message hasn't changed. Promises made, promises kept. We promised. I remember the old idea of ever having a riverfront access park is happening. Government takes a long time to work, but just last week we processed $50 million to come to the city of Yonkers to fully develop the property adjacent to the river in Fernbrook. Fernbrook Park is going to be a reality. The work starts this year. There may be some remediation to the land because we want this place to be healthy and safe. But beyond that, once we go over those hurdles, that promise of a riverfront park for everybody in the city of Yonkers and Westchester County is a reality. Promises made, promises kept. Another premise that I made, promise, which is similar word in this instance, was to reactivate a youth bureau and to never forget our young people. Guess what? That youth bureau continues to get stronger, was reactivated with the graces of Mayor Spano, who allowed it to come back into life. We have a director that really embraces youth. We have Leadership Academy. We're training youngsters right out of 6th grade into becoming responsible adults. One thing that happens in Southwest Yonkers is I have a lot of single parenting going on. And very often the father figure of these children comes to be their teacher or whoever chooses to step into their life. The Youth Bureau tries to make up for those deficiencies in the family nucleus, if you will. We continue to empower youngsters. And another thing that I also say, never forget our seniors. Seniors in the city of Yonkers continues to receive services for free. It is mainly a City of Yonkers program to the graces of Office for the Aging, but the funding comes through Westchester County, and I am there to make sure that they have the assets and the funding to continue to run programs, to make those visits, to deliver those meals. And talking about meals, I am also the one through the county that we make sure that the pantries in my area that has the most pantries for people that are going hungry, for the food to be available. And we continue to do that. We pledge to do that. And now, again, working together with the local municipality, and for people that don't understand what Westchester County is the umbrella government that delivers certain services to the municipalities. We cannot enforced anything. We can only support. So through the graces of the administration of the city of Yonkers, now we're looking into expanding on an open water access park to rehabilitating the Yonkers Avenue pool for this to become the Youth Bureau home, where any youngster can knock on that door for multi-services, and we would triage whatever needs this youngster may have. It's a long process, reason why I'm continuing to run to deliver. But to the social services aspect of things, if you're my constituent, you always received a letter like this, which is my annual report of things that happen. And we are investing, just through myself, in a consortium of 20 agencies, a consortium of services where we address leadership, where we address integration, where we address hunger, where we address the arts and the importance of it, where we address mental health, you know, and these partners work together with me. I cannot do it alone. As a matter of fact, the legislative position is supposed to be a part-time one. Rue would tell you otherwise, because we are everywhere. But I get to do the work through the partnerships of people that do it. These 20 plus agencies, part of our consortium, are mainly run by volunteers. And these volunteers deliver for you. Over $800,000 through come here. And as a matter of fact, if I may, something that is...
We're going back to that in a second.
Okay, awesome.
So now let me also make it clear to my audience and other people that are running, seeking elected positions, if you want to be on Yonkers Voice and talk to our community, we have a very large follower here in Yonkers, Westchester County. We are the largest social platform that actually reaches every or most households in Yonkers and Westchester County.
Awesome.
We are not inclined one way or the other, even though I have my personal inclinations, but the organization itself, Yonkers Voice, does not endorse or oppose. So if you are a candidate and you want to come on Yonkers Voice and talk to the community, reach out to us. All 3 interviews must be done before beginning of April. So if you're interested in sitting down with Yonkers Voice to talk about your vision, your policies, the work that you want to be done, you need to reach to us now so we can schedule 1 interview before the end of March. So don't forget.
Absolutely, and take the opportunity. Rue is everywhere, is not by coincidence. We were at another event together that he was covering, and he reminded me that I had not visited lately. And I took the opportunity, and here I am, and I asked everybody, do so. Do so because if you have any ideas, if you want to do something, you want to share it with the public. You know, at the end of the day, as much as candidates or individuals hate criticism, guess what? If you step into the public life, get ready for it. I'm at the point in my life where somebody wants to criticize me. I'm happy to answer any questions. I don't respond to blogs anymore, because if you're willing to ask the question and
correct. You respond to Yonkers Voice, right?
I do. But what I'm saying is, I like people to identify, just like I am forced to identify myself to you. Be brave enough to identify yourself to me when you're asking a question, because guess what? You only get straight answers. I may not be the most popular elected official, but I am a true one that's going to tell you what it is. I am no saint. I have always said it. I work hard and I party hard, and I make no apology. These streets of Southwest Yonkers are my streets. I walk them anytime, and people can see me rejoice with the community anytime. and people can see me serving the community anytime.
On that note, let me take this opportunity to mention something. I'm going to make the legislator's words my words. We understand that for whatever reasons, there is people on Yonkers Voice that feel the need to have an alter profile for the purposes of debating topics. I have no issues with that. As long as that alter profile, it's used to valid debates, conversations, questions. Anyone that uses a fake profile for the purpose of harassing, offending, intimidating, attacking anyone gets removed from the page immediately, because we have no tolerance for that. We understand differences of opinions.
Yes, totally.
We welcome differences of opinions, and we welcome for you to come and challenge people like Jose Alvarado, legislator, or any other. But do so in a respectful manner, and don't use your fake profile with the purpose of attacking, harassing, or intimidating.
And
Is that understandable?
Yeah, no, and thank you for saying that, because that's exactly what I'm saying. Look, the best ideas that I've come across, and I see in hundreds of meetings in a particular year, okay, the best ideas come from a casual conversation. So don't be shy in sharing those with us from wherever they come. But as far as being a servant or a participant of the community, I have three things to say. Lead, follow, or get out of the way. You know, I will not allow anybody to get on my way of delivering for my community. So get involved, make it happen. You know, I went to a dinner breaking the fast in northern Westchester County last night, and I had a conversation with the head of the organization, and he welcomed me in the Muslim Center, Northern Westchester Muslim Center, and I thanked him for what he did, and he thanked me for being there, and we spoke a lot, but I said, he said, I am glad you feel comfortable in our center. And I told him, I feel comfortable in any place of worship. And any participant to those centers should take note that if you join that particular center with your beliefs, and that makes you a better community person, knock yourself out. But if you just want to be critical and do nothing about what is happening around, then don't complain.
Now, legislator, I have to ask you a question that came to me privately this morning. Don't take offensive, remember? Don't kill the messenger. I'm just asking the question.
Sure.
That's all I'm asking. Are you a citizen or not?
Yeah, it's an absurd question, and for everybody's knowledge, you cannot participate in the electorate. You cannot vote. You cannot be an elected representative in New York or in the United States, for that matter, if you are not a citizen. I am a naturalized citizen since 1989, May of '89. Along with that came my degree in college and the American dream that I'm living every day. The fact that I'm here with Ru is part of that dream, that I have the freedom of America to be, to want to be, and to deliver for you, thanks to this free country that we joined, that I naturalized in some 36 years ago.
So now when that question was made to you, did you took it as offensive? Did you take it as a joke? How did you take it? Because it seems a little bit awkward that he would ask you that question, knowing the full requirements of what you must be in order to be an elected official. How did you take that question, sir?
In disbelief. I could not believe that a duly elected official would ask perhaps the highest ranking Latino elected official in Westchester County such an absurd question. So it blew my mind, and the giggling at the moment from the people in the room took my thoughts in so many different directions that I just had to clarify the point. And I think I did it in the meeting at that time. Then the congressman tried to explain what he meant.
What's the name of it? We need to say Mike Lawler. He was the one that made the statement, so we're not going to sweep it under the carpet. He made a statement. He asked the question.
Yes, and then he said that he knows. Then why did you ask? And then the question, I will not apologize. I wasn't asking for an apology. But guess what? Hundreds of people call me to apologize for you. So I personally don't need an apology. I hope you learned your lesson. I only asked you that question because I wanted you to clarify to people that are duly residents of this America of ours that they don't have anything to fear if they have some kind of protected status. Because in my neck of the woods here in Southwest Yonkers, there are some people that are feeling like Mr. Trump is going to come and take their certificate of naturalization like the one I have and tear it to pieces and tell them you are not a citizen anymore. And come on, who better than a congressman to do that? You miss your opportunity, and I'm sorry for that.
As you know, we are live, and there is a question here from Philip Armstrong. Thank you for Philip for always joining in on our interviews and for connecting with those that we elect to represent us. This is Philip's statement. The city of Yonkers is populated by mostly middle-class working families. So taxpayers who are being driven out of Yonkers. What will the legislature do to protect the working class families in the city of Yonkers against onslaught developers seeking to drive them out of the city of Yonkers?
As I mentioned earlier, and this is not an excuse, Westchester County, it's an umbrella government that works in cooperation with the county, and they have their own policies as to how they serve their citizenship. I totally agree that the middle class cannot afford to live here. Our cops, our firemen cannot afford to stay in Yonkers and buy their own home. So that is our reality. And that is something that we tackle on a regular basis. I think we lead the pack in Westchester County in association with the city of Yonkers in building affordable housing. We have built hundreds. I mean, I've been doing this in and out for over 24 years, and Yonkers is not short of always being in the front when it comes to affordability of housing, but the needs exceed whatever we have been able to do, and I am no longer calling it affordable housing. I call it workforce housing, which is the next level of building opportunities for our teachers, for our professionals that serve us on a daily basis. And I can assure you that I will continue the fight to make that housing available. Nobody should be pushed out. The biggest fight we had some 15 years ago was when the rental control buildings, the Michilama program, which is very complicated to explain right now, were going to lose their affordability, and we made arrangements to make sure that the buildings along the Riverdale corridor remain rent control so that our people would not be pushed out of the waterfront area just because it's an elite area to live in now that the waterfront continues to be beautified. So that fight is ongoing, and we'll continue to fight it along with the administration of the city of Yonkers. I can assure you of that.
Legislator, we have a statement question for Mr. William Robert. Can you ask the legislator his thoughts on how effective ICE has been in 2 months, and if contacted, if he would be fully cooperative with assisting the ICE? And no federal requirements. How do you see that? What's your answer?
I don't feel I need to cooperate with ICE. I respect the authorities, and I guess they will do what they're saying they're doing right now. There hasn't been that many instances where they have appeared in my district, so I haven't worried much about it. What I worry about is the misinformation. Look, I cannot defend anybody that has broken the law, regardless of documented or not, and vice versa, and that is not my job. Would I cooperate with the authorities? Always, always. I just want my community to be properly informed, and there's so much misinformation and so much unnecessary fears out there. And that's what I make my efforts for my constituents happen. It's just, let's provide clear information. Somebody taking half of a picture of a uniform and saying ICE is in South Broadway doesn't help anybody, except create fear for anybody that may feel that is not documented enough to be searched by these individuals. I don't control the federal government. They're going to do what they're going to do. They're calling City of Yonkers and Westchester County sanctuary cities, sanctuary county. No, we're not sanctuary cities and sanctuary. We're sanctuary not by title. We're sanctuary because we care about everybody. And that is the confusion that exists.
Well, we have received a lot of reports that ICE has been in Yonkers, like you said, South Broadway, this area, Park Hill, Elm Street. I have not seen it.
Me either.
Okay, I have not seen it. And I'm sure that if there were, somebody would be filming and sending it to me so we can identify the area. I have not seen it.
Yeah, and I'm going to take this opportunity to thank you, Ru, for always being in the forefront of what is happening in Yonkers and everywhere else, really. I've seen, and this is true recollection, there was a flip on coming into Rumsey Road one time, and I just saw it. And within a couple of minutes, Ru was there covering it. And I always wonder, how the hell do you do it?
Look, I will tell you my secret, but you know what I would have to do next. So
No, don't tell me.
So you don't want to know the secret. But guys, on that note, I want to make it clear that people of Yonkers understand that when I go to a scene, I just go to the scene to let you know what's going on in that scene. If it's in case like an accident, okay, now you have the option to drive around, avoid the area. If it's police activity or fire department, okay, now you know if it's your building, if it's not your building, if there is a need for you to worry about it. So we do this to keep you informed. We don't take sides. And very often, Jose, when I get to the scene, I don't know what's going on. I can only show you what I see. You see what I see. The police often later on sends a press release out notifying exactly the details of what's happening. I only tell you what I see, what I think is happening. It's not an official report.
Right. And you know what? Thank you for covering. Another thing that people usually ask Westchester County to do is to cooperate with the local authorities, and everybody thinks Westchester County. This is a little bit of educational moment when it comes to law enforcement, since there's been several incidents of shootings and knives encounters in my area. First of all, please chill out, people. You know, what are you going to solve hurting another individual? You know, let's try to get along. All we do is continue to damage the image of a community that continues to evolve. If I didn't believe in Southwest Yonkers, I wouldn't represent Southwest Yonkers. I think that because of the need that we have, that creates a lot of opportunity. And it is based on that opportunity that I have stayed in elected office this long. But I can show you what I've done. And Westchester County Police does cooperate with all municipalities. But Westchester County Police is not even 50% of the work of the police force that Yonkers has. So the local community has precedence, but we always work in support with all authorities. Going back to the original question, to the extent possible, we cooperate with all authorities. What we don't do, once a person is charged with a local crime or state crime or whatever it is, we handle that part. It's not our job to turn that person, documented or not, to ICE. It is not.
Let me take also this opportunity. Every time I have an interview, I try to inform our viewers what Yonkers Voice is. Yonkers Voice is just a brand label, a brand name, just New York Post, Washington Post, News 12, or whatever. In a lower scale, but still a brand name.
Yes.
That, because we have the name of Yonkers Voice, does not imply that all of our content is about Yonkers. Just like New York Post, not everything on the New York Post is about New York City. It's about Gaza, it's about Palestine, it's about whatever. It's a news. Whatever we think is of interest to the people, we put it out. So Yonkers Voice is just a platform. But guys, we have to close this interview because you have to go. But before we go, we want you to mention about this flyer.
Yes.
So people know.
And I want to do it because I mentioned my consortium, right? And this is the product of cooperation. The consortium is 20 plus. It includes several organizations. If I try to mention them, it includes the
too many, huh?
Yeah, too many. BSEC Center, Brother to Brother, Catholic Charities, Doronex, Dominican American Cultural Club of Yonkers, Dominican Cultural Association of Yonkers, to mention a few. But there is also 5-0 Lead, using officers in training with sports to improve relationships with the police. And Que Paso Latinx is one of them. And when we had a 5K just the end of last year, I got together with Maria, the founder of Que Paso, and I said we should do this to continue to address the mental health issue, right? And Yonkers also has the Yonkers Running Project. And we come up with this idea while we were walking. Like I was telling you, the good ideas that I've seen don't happen on a meeting. They happen on a casual conversation. And tomorrow we're going to have the first party, Fiesta de Inicio, you know, the first party to kick off May 10th, 5K in support of mental health in Yonkers. It's going to take place at Tibbetts Park, and registration is open, and so on and so forth. You see more. This is the first time it's being mentioned public, so don't think the Yonkers Voice was left out. I got this hot off the press because Simple Motive is another brewery in Yonkers, Yonkers born, Yonkers created, and they're going to host a kickoff party tomorrow from 6 to 8 p.m. Come and support it, because just like drugs, just like crime, just like mental health is something that we are all touched by.
And subject to it.
Yes, and subject to it. So we want it, especially in the Latino community, we don't want it to continue to be a myth. It is okay to have mental issues. The problem is them going unaddressed that exacerbate the situation. So we want to continue to address those mental health issues, and what a better way to do it by addressing them to organizations like Que Paso. And tomorrow you can learn more about it, and you'll begin to see it, and it's going to be big. And on May 10th, that morning, it's going to be a party of people walking and running in Tibes Park to acknowledge the fact that mental health is here and that we're willing to confront it head on and educate people about it.
Well, on that note, we conclude our interview. Thank you, Mr. Jose Alvarado. Guys, don't forget, if you hear that knock, if you hear that ring from ring bell coming at your door, listen, open the door, talk to the representative, because that person who's knocking at the door might be the person that represents your ideology better. If you don't sign, maybe you won't be on the ballot, and then you will have no representation. You lose nothing by opening, listening, making your mind, asking your questions, and then decide. And don't forget, Yonkers Voice is not my voice. I represent no one. Yonkers Voice is just a platform where your voice is heard, where we can connect you and those that represent us, where you can connect and ask questions directly. I represent none.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.